Been a while since I've done a what sold video. I like doing these videos to show you guys what sells on eBay, what's really selling. A lot of these items you can find in garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, you name it, it could be there. So make sure you watch the video so you can see what items you can possibly find, what they can possibly sell for. A lot of these items sold very fast, so I'm very excited to show you guys. So let's get started. The first sale right here is this Fox Racing 360 motocross pants, and I sold many of these. I think you've seen a previous video already of me selling these, but I wanted to highlight this one because it did take a while to sell. It sold for $44.94. I sent an offer, they accepted. So when I say a while, I mean it sold a couple weeks. So a couple weeks for clothing is actually very good. Just for me, I mean, with the hard goods, sometimes they flip fast. So for clothing, usually a month is pretty fast. So I'm still very happy with this. And I think I had $7.99 into it, so that's a pretty good flip. I've been diving more into denim because I've been exploring more on the clothing aspect of reselling. The area fire resistance are always something good to pick up. I bought these at Goodwill. I actually sold both. I had two pairs and sold them both for this same price, $34.99, to the same buyer, and they sold very, very fast within a day. I was surprised. If you ever see fire resistant jeans, definitely pick them up. At the Goodwill, they were marked $9.99 for both. So I bought that, and there's something else I bought that you're gonna see later in the video. At an estate sale, I picked up these headphones along with a bunch of other stuff that I highlighted in the video. This one sold for $60, so I was very, very excited. I honestly didn't know what to price these at. I looked in WorthPoint, I looked at the research tool on eBay, couldn't find any information on these, so I decided just to make a price up. They worked, they were functioning, it even came with a little adapter to connect it to the computer. I decided to price it at $60. It took about a couple weeks. It took like 4 weeks to sell, so very happy with the flip. I don't mind waiting for a $60 profit.
I like money.
Another thing I mentioned in a previous video is selling a lot of board shorts, and I've been learning more about them. So I knew the brand Lost was Y2K-esque, meaning it's in the 90s to early 2000s, and I knew there was a market for it. So I didn't know, when I picked these board shorts up, I didn't know, what to expect as far as pricing goes. I was pleasantly surprised. I had these marked at $39.99, and if it was a bigger size, it probably would have sold for that. But since these are size 30, a lot smaller and a lot slower to sell, they did indeed sell for $33.99. And they were listed in May, so it took about a month and a half to 2 months to sell. So overall, very happy regardless. $3.99 into it, $33.99 out. I mentioned previously that I got those Airgate fire resistant jeans at the Goodwill. I actually also got these at the Goodwill as well, along with a couple other pairs that are not featured in this video, unfortunately. I got these Bates 7.5R Vibram sole. They are new with tags, so that's the reason why I picked them up. I actually sold them for $55, so I sent an offer, they counter offered over $55, I accepted. When something's new like this, it's very easy to list, and boots, you don't really have to worry about them getting damaged. You do want to pad the box a little bit, but for the most part, these are meant to last. I don't really have to worry about it getting damaged. So very happy overall. Fast shipper, fast lister, everything was checked off on this one. All right, these ones right here, I did highlight in a recent garage sale video. So these Titleist golf balls, I did buy, I think for $5 a piece or $5 for all of them. I can't remember 100%. Even if it's $15, I did sell them for full price of $99.99. Super happy with the sale. It did take a week or two to sell, but regardless, again, they're like this big, so I don't mind storing something that size, especially with a high margin. Unfortunately, I did make a big pickup of a Littlest Pet Shop, and I did not do any footage or video for it, so I did pick up a big tote full of Littlest Pet Shop items. At the time, I was just extremely busy. This is the time where I was going to SoCal Gaming Expo, and I was really busy prepping for that. I didn't have time to film it. I did want to feature it, but I didn't have time. But I did pay $40 for a tote full of Littlest Pet Shop. This is just a portion of it. I actually sold for $35, so I sent out offers. They counter offer with $35. I accepted. These ones are very small. So the average Littlest Pet Shop is about this big. These ones are about this big. So there was just like a little portion of what I got, and sold for $35. Extremely happy with that. Very, very happy with that. That almost makes me my money back just with this. And there's more Littlest Pet Shops to be featured later in the video. Sometimes the best sourcing you can do is in your own death pile. So this CyberShot camera I've had in my death pile for 2 years now. I did get it at a garage sale for, I think, $5, which is an insane amount. The reason it was my death pile because a lot of these cameras I'm going to feature in this video I did not want to test, or I didn't have the cable to charge it, X, Y, and Z. So whenever I don't have the cable to charge it, or it's too complex or too time consuming to test, what I do is I just put it to the side, which I should stop doing because cameras aren't really that hard to test. I finally buckled down and did it, and it sold for $109.99. Extremely happy. Sony Cybershots, I don't see a lot of people talking about, but they do sell for a pretty good amount, certain models, so make sure you keep an eye out for those. This is another death pile item, the Canon Demi EE17. This one had a lot of battery corrosion, and I had to clean it up, and when I put new batteries in, it did not power on. It did disclose all this in the description of the listing. Unfortunately, again, it didn't work. If it worked, it would sell for a lot more money, but still $70 for a camera that doesn't work, I'll take that any day. And I think I had about $5 into it, so very happy with the sale.
I gotta have more.
In a SoCal Gaming Expo prep video I posted earlier last month, did feature a bunch of Ninja Turtle toys. I got along with Bubble Bobble Part 2, a bunch of NES games, etc. So I've been in the profit in that, and this is just a part of it. And I had a lot of more Ninja Turtles that did sell at SoCal Gaming Expo, and whatever didn't sell, I did post on eBay. However, I do have still a big bag full of action figures that I do need to go through, and I want to take my time with those because sometimes an action figure like this one, if it's complete with all the accessories, can be worth a lot more. So this one was missing one accessory, so I couldn't price. I think with that one accessory, it increases it by $10, which is a substantial amount, but I was missing it, so I decided to list it as it was. I did get $20 for it, and I'm very happy with that. I frequent my Salvation Army at least once a week, and I do frequent 2 different ones. At the other one I normally go to, that's a little bit farther, I did find this jersey, and it did sell for full price of $49.99. There's no big names like Adidas or Nike or anything like that. Because of my studying and research, I did learn that Joma is, you know, one of those key brands that do jerseys for, especially for Italy and European aspects of jerseys. So I knew right away that it was worth something. I just didn't know how much, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. Another thing that caught my eye when I looked at this is this little barcode right here. So if it looks legit, 100% definitely pick it up, but there is a lot of fakes out there, so you have to be very careful. Look for the key signs like that barcode, the embroidery, the logos and stuff like that, because these can be faked a lot. I don't really feature a lot of shoes in these what sold videos. I do sell them, but they are relatively a lot slower. So I noticed that when I've been selling shoes, they do sell every now and then. So if I figure if you have a large amount of shoes, you'll sell one every day. It just depends how much you have in stock. So I do sell them, and this one was a very good one at Salvation Army. I think I paid $10.99 for it, sold it for $54.99. Good flip right there, probably $30 profit. Very easy shipper, lister, all of the above. There was some light cleaning on the whites. Obviously, you want to make the white look as white as possible, make sure the soles are nice. I don't go too into detail, especially if it's not like a crazy $100 plus. If it's $100 plus, I'm going to put a little bit more effort, but still you want to make them presentable enough for people to want to buy them. That's what I usually do for shoes.
Money, 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 money.
Something I don't really feature a lot is golf clubs and irons and golf items. I did sell the golf balls earlier. Did also want to highlight this one. This is the Titleist 716 golf iron. Did sell for $50. Originally I was trying to get $84.99. I think I saw a sold comp, the market dropped or something, or maybe my condition wasn't as good or something. I need to look a little better when I'm listing irons. Slowly learning more about them. There is money to be made, definitely. Mom and pop shop run thrift store. They do sometimes get irons and they price them at $1.99, so $2. So this $2 in, $50 out. Extremely happy with that. The only thing with irons I do want to mention is if you don't have the adequate box for them, it could be a little bit difficult to pack. So what I usually do is I have a 36 by 10 by 6, I think is what the measurement of the box is, and I kind of Franken box it to fit the iron. Probably better just to have, you know, a size 40 length and like a really thin. If you're selling a lot of irons, you definitely want to have the right equipment to sell it. But I sell them every now and then, so I can get away with Frankenboxing it. Definitely consider that if you decide to sell golf irons, how to ship them. Earlier I showed you a big bundle that I sold for Littlest Pet Shop. This one little puppy that is about this big sold for $24.99. I'm extremely happy. I have learned that dogs and cats do very well for Littlest Pet Shop. Not all of them do great, certain ones do, and this Great Dane did. There was another Great Dane in the same bundle, but unfortunately it had a little bit of marks on it. Probably had to go a little bit lower, but with this and the previous, obviously I'm already in the profit. Extremely happy. I did buy the Littlest Pet Shop stuff. At first I was a little hesitant. I'm like, these are just tiny little things, I don't know if they're going to be worth it, but I had heard Littlest Pet Shop does do well certain things. If you're going to buy something, you want to make sure that there's minifigures, there are the little figures like these are in the lot, because just the background stuff can probably just sit for a very long time. What people want is the little figures. If you're able to get it, it can sell. Just make sure there's cats and dogs in there. This Jams World women's blouse did sell for $50, and you're probably asking yourself, wow, that's a lot for a used blouse that's missing a button. Absolutely. I did list it, and within minutes it sold. It was ridiculous. Like, I could not believe how fast this flipped. But extremely happy that I did pick it up at the Salvation Army. I think they had it at $3.99, $4.99. $50 is very fast. However, there was an issue. They did start a return, but in the return message they said they wanted a discount because there was like a tiny, like almost microscopic looking hole, but they did show it in the pictures and they wanted like $5 off. I sent the $5, did work out, and the return is closed. Probably more or less, you know, $35 profit from a $3.99. Since it sold so fast, I'll still take that every day. And just to make sure you guys look at the tag, if you ever see Jams World, this is like the vintage tag for it. If you ever see Jams World, I would always look at it, especially if it's colorful and it looks vintage. These Crocs were another easy lister. I love listing new stuff because you don't have to do much to it. I'm so used to cleaning and making sure there's no defects, etc. But when something's new, honestly, it just take pictures of it and put it away. So this did sell for full price of $64.99, and it did go internationally. I was getting a bunch of like counter offers of, you know, 50 and 45, but since it was relatively a new listing, usually when it's a new listing, I don't want to take the offer right away unless it's reasonable, like $5, maybe even $10 off. But more than that, I kind of just want to wait a couple days just to make sure it won't sell full price. And I'm glad I did, because like right after they sent the counter offer, someone bought it. So activity definitely does help on eBay. I'm not sure, I haven't figured the rhyme or reason to it, but activity does help to send a counter offer now and then just to make sure the algorithm, you know, catches it. Another golf item, it is summer, it was spring, so these things are selling. This TaylorMade M6 driver did sell for $76.99. Originally I was trying to get $109.99. Dude realized that my condition was off, so I did have it on sale and I sent out offers. They accepted my offer of $76.99. So extremely happy with that because I only had $2 into it. Once again, the packaging was a little bit difficult, especially with this one because the driver head is a little bigger. I had to be frankenboxed even more. If you're gonna be selling golf clubs, irons, bats, even for baseball, make sure you have the adequate box, because if you don't, you can run into some issues, especially with shipping and the lengths and surcharges, and also possibly getting damaged. Once it sells, you gotta ship it. I did feature this in last week's video, a vintage center swoosh hoodie, and it did sell for full price of $39.99, and it sold the same day. I mean, I heard center swoosh hoodies do sell, but I've been finding the wrong ones. The ones you want to find are the ones with the small check on there, and obviously the tag will be grayish, and these are the ones people are looking for. Now you might say, Grimzy, $40 isn't a lot of money, but for $5 to $40, I'll take that any day. And since it sold so fast same day, it was definitely a no-brainer. Now I know what to look for even more so with center swoosh. Just know they do sell for a lot of money, and this was a small. If you have a 2XL, you're talking about $50, $60, even $70. Look for these when you're outsourcing for sure, if you sell clothes. In a previous estate sale video, I picked up a camera that was like, you know, a $300 camera, and I picked up a couple Hot Wheels. This is just one of the Hot Wheels that did sell. It sold for $34.99, and I think at the estate sale they had it marked, I think, at $3 or $4, so that's an easy flip, easy list. Hot Wheels about this big, so easy ship too. So extremely happy. Shipping costs were low, everything was low, high margin for me. I'm always looking for red lines. Now I do want to note that just because there's a red line on the tire doesn't mean it's going to be worth a lot of money. Certain ones do, but it's when you see a red line in a Hot Wheel, it's something you should be looking at, because Hot Wheels with red lines, some are very rare and worth a lot of money, but then some are more common. So you just have to know really what to look for. But if you see a red line in a Hot Wheel, take a moment to look and make sure it's worth it. When I see a ton of them, I'm like, do I really want to look through these? But looking just for the red lines is a good start. And the last item I wanted to feature in this video is this porcelain statue of Copo Diamante, a lady with a fan. I did feature this in a video last year, probably the end of the year. I did buy this with a bunch of Yadro, and I sold one Yadro already, and she sold for $237.99. For some reason, when I send out offers and they counter offer and I accept, it doesn't, for some reason it doesn't show it on here. $237 for a $20 investment, I will take that any day. In that video, if you remember, they didn't have a price tag on her, and I asked the lady how much, and she said, you know, 20 bucks, and I was just quickly took it because the amount of value that I could get from $20 was substantial, so I decided to take the risk. She did have damage, and I did disclose it in the listing. As you can see here, there is little cracks on her little ruffles, but if you look at it from far away, it honestly just looks like it's part of her dress ruffles. So probably whoever bought it, it's probably going to be a display piece, and maybe it's going to be up somewhere. Can't even tell that it's damaged, so that's good. And the only thing I did dread from this sale is obviously the packing, because this one didn't have any foam, any inserts, anything. So I was just like, oh, do I really want to pack this? But it's sold, so I obviously had to pack it. But luckily I had foam, like really soft foam. What I did was I bubbled her, put a very soft foam around it, and shrink wrapped the heck out of it, and then did a box, and then patted that box, put it in a new box with padding as well, and it made it safely, I hope, because it's been delivered for almost 3 weeks now. No messages from the buyer, so I'm assuming all is well. Just know that when you're buying breakables like this, that you are going to be able to ship it. And I will definitely do this buy again. However, I will definitely do it even more so if it has the original foam or packaging with it, so it's a lot easier to ship. Anyways guys, let me know in the comments below what your favorite sold was from this video, or what item you like to learn more about in this video, and I will keep doing these videos if you guys thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below that you guys are enjoying it. Remember to subscribe for more videos, and we'll see what I find next. Thanks guys.